Hi, it's me, Dora V here, and today we're gonna be talking about what I believe is the final episode of the season. It's just 7. That's it. Just 7. You gotta be kidding me. I don't believe that. But it is apparently. And what a doozy it was. It was real good. I liked it. The title makes me think of Lovecraft. It was like the thing this, the thing that, and the thing, and I'm like, that's so Lovecraftian. There's a thing hanging in the void sort of thing. It made me think of that. But anyway, the Moonlight Sonata, hearing that was a nice touch. Pretty typical in such in such shows and movies. You hear it a lot. The only thing is that I've yet to hear the allegretto part of it, where it goes really fast and angry and scary. I only ever heard that in figure skating. I've never heard it anywhere else except there. But they didn't do that here either. Why should this be any different, I guess? But still, it's nice to hear it. It is a very lovely piece, so it's not much of a shock to see it, to hear it. At least I would love it. I think he would. But anyway, speaking of Lestat, apparently they doing Nom Nom on a guy, they're hanging around and they say locked together in hate. Huh. Claudia in the movies, and I think in the books too, Claudia says that to Louis, because at this point she was very resentful of him, and they kind of took that and twisted it around a bit, except that I think it was Claudia that just hated being around Lestat, and Louis kind of has a love-hate with Lestat, of course. Because of course he does. You know how that is. Nice little dance between love and hate there. At any rate, yeah, I do remember that quote. And then this poor guy is slowly bleeding to death, and that poor guy, and even Claudia is disgusted, and she's pretty savage. It's not like her moral standards are all that high, but you can see it in her face, she was just so done with him. But then they see this other guy who apparently had cancer. I guess something like that. He had cancer and had, I guess, wanted to be immortal. And I know that vampires aren't supposed to be drinking the blood of the dead, but I can't see how cancer would be an issue unless it's just a taste. But I don't know. What do I know, right? I don't know. But maybe in the Anne Rice world, cancer is a bad thing to drink. Don't drink it. It's yucky, I guess. Something like that. But at any rate, it's maybe because he was already dying, that's possible, because he was really wheezing and coughing, so there is that. Yeah, that might have been it too. He was dying anyway. So anyway, they're in this little theater, and Claudia basically says that they're well-dressed tyrants, which, yeah, I guess that's the one good thing to come out of the Nazi regime. The aesthetic is pretty cool. And then this guy keeps turning around and shushing them, and then Lestat makes him beat himself up. That was, in hindsight, that's absolutely hilarious. Because I guess it kind of proves Claudia's point, I guess. But yeah, it is pretty rude to talk to theaters, but the thing is, I've been guilty of it too. I think we all have. Only I never got caught, not to my knowledge at least. To be honest, it's typically not that big a deal, because oftentimes, the talk that you hear, it's really entertaining. At least in my experience it was, and I would have loved to have listened in on them, Big party and the Nazis, yeah, the well-dressed tyrant, yeah. Yep, I guess some people, it's a it's kind of a bigger deal, I guess. But at any rate, Louis gets kind of, not Louis, but Lestat gets kind of pissy, because that is what Lestat does, and he makes him beat himself up. That's so good, like the powers of mind control, which is pretty funny. Now what's interesting is that no one else seems to care. Like, yeah, just keep beating yourself up. And no one else cared, so whatever. So anyway, they do get to the party. They make the party happen, and it's pretty cool. They there's lots of bribery involved. Like, they do all of that. It's still, but if you want to like get into detail, like, it's not much of a shock, to be honest. So they get a nice boat and all that. Then you get to the scene with Lestat where he's like King Raj, and just in that outfit, like, oh my god, he looked amazing. Just wow. He looks so good, but this is Lestat we're talking about. He always looks good. So, and then the baby thing, that was just, whatever. It's a trick, obviously. Even Lestat probably wouldn't be touching babies. Like, not enough blood, you see, because they're just babies. That's why, like, you very rarely see vampires go after children. Because, yuck. But also just not enough to really... But then again, they feed off animals. But, yeah, children might be a bit distasteful, I imagine. At least I think so. But anyway, at least I look fabulous, because he always looks fabulous. He can be wearing like nothing and he would be fabulous. And that is what he is. But I understand like the changes they made though, because in the books, and if I recall correctly, the movies, they were children, and that might have been a problem nowadays. It's they're just not, it would be ill-advised, so they just had twin adults, like, which is fine, I can see why. Then during the scene, like in the party, just wow, they were unusually savage, like Louis was. I expect that kind of savagery from Lestat, of course, but not from Louis. I guess Claudia could also obviously pretty savage too. But then again, with Louis, I was a bit surprised, but, when they're hungry, they're hungry. I guess they figure they're leaving anyway. Let's make the most of it, right? Oh, that was, yeah. Can't believe I missed that one. That was the whole point. They have to leave anyway, so take out as many people as they can. Duh, of course it's all part of the plan. I still found that, like, kind of, wow, just unusually savage, but again, like, it should have been expected. So then Antoinette appears. Yeah, I was like, we heard, Antoinette. It was obviously her, so I'm like, where is she? But I could have sworn, like, I heard another vampire. It's like, it was Antoinette. That's what I saw in the captions, too, but there was another vampire. Thomas? Or, like, was he a vamp? But who? What? Yeah, I don't know anything about that one. Yeah, it was just... Yeah, unless that's just some kind of a trick, maybe. But Antoinette was definitely there, but Louis didn't think anything of it. But it turns out Claudia knew all along. She's just so amazing. But when I first saw Antoinette, I was like, boo, boo, go away, boo. But Claudia is just incredibly brilliant. She knew that Antoinette was there all along. And she played on Lestat's weakness of kind of carrying grudges against people. So not only did she get one of the twins, like she got the guy that Lestat had something against for whatever reason, So I thought that was just like masterclass, I think, just really good. And then she goes after Antoinette, and that is one of the ways you kill a vampire, is a stake through the heart. And it looked like it was her heart. And that's where you go, stake through the heart. I know they're not supposed to drink the blood of the dead, but that might be an Anne Rice thing. But even in other vampire lore, it's kind of a yucky. It wouldn't sustain them because it's dead blood, so gross. Yeah, so there is that too. So it's probably just more yucky than anything. But in Rice lore, it could be a problem and kill you. Fire. The sun, if you're new enough, doesn't affect old vampires, but I'm not sure if that's true in other lore or if it's just Anne Rice, I don't know. But what I do know is the sun kills most vampires. The holy symbols don't do anything, neither does garlic. It'd be interesting to see someone try garlic on, say, Lestat. He'd probably kill them and then eat the garlic. So anyway, I was like, boo, Antoinette, go away. So I was so happy to see Claudia get rid of her. But when I saw Antoinette dressed as a guy, I just thought, wow, she looked really good though. I'll give her that. She's really pretty and looks good in either gender. So I thought that was a nice touch. But anyway, when Louis is the one who slits Lestat's throat, in the movie, it was Claudia who did it. I'll put you in your coffin. But in the books, let me see, I don't remember who did it in the books though. It might have been Claudia as well, but I just don't remember. Sad trombone me. But it was still just an amazing scene, and Lestat is like, I love you with everything I have, au revoir. But they just can't put him in the fire. Antoinette though got torched though, ha ha ha. I don't care, neener, neener, neener. But yeah, they left soon out. They left, they went bye-bye, like to, and then adventure, neat and tidy. Well, maybe initially, but yeah, Claudia does grow to resent Louis. That's pretty accurate. They certainly didn't stray there. She does grow to resent him. And in the end, it was a bit of a hot mess, and unless they do change things in the adaptation, it does not end well for Claudia, because killing your maker is a huge no-no, at least in the Anne Rice world. But it wouldn't surprise me if other vampire lore has that as well. So anyway, Eric Bogosian is just amazing here. Like, Daniel Malloy made me think of a lawyer. It's just so incredibly brilliantly done, and Bogosian is just amazing in this role. Just wow, he's like perfect. Just damn son. But he does tend to play those kind of roles anyway. I just feel like this is one of his best ones. I just loved it here, and how he just calls out Louis on everything. And this is where Armand reveals himself. Oh, hi, Armand. Like, I should have seen that coming. It's hinted in the last episode. But I always thought that Armand was a redhead. But in the Anne Rice world, he is one of those vampires who can go in the sun. But he is quite lovely. And at this point, yeah, he's the love of Louis's life. Aww. But it doesn't quite start out that way. And you'll see why in season 2, I'm sure, when Louis and Claudia go on their adventures. It's just that with Lestat still around with all the rats, yeah, he'll make it. He'll be just fine. And then he will hunt. And then things are unfortunate there for poor Claudia. Again, unless they change in the adaptation, but I don't really see that likely in this case. I mean, who knows though. But yeah, that's it. It's like, hi Armand, he looks amazing. And there you're definitely gonna see more of him as time goes on. And spoiler alert, if I recall correctly, it is Armand who makes Daniel into a vampire, but it takes him a while to do so, I think. But I don't know if the adaptation's gonna do that. It might be Louis who does it, who knows. But we shall see. So, that's pretty much it. That's all I gotta say. It was one hell of a finale. It didn't feel like an hour and 13 minutes. It certainly didn't feel that way. It's just so mesmerizing, to be honest. And thank God for closed captioning too. But that's about it for me. Wave bye-bye, Nikki. Say bye-bye to the vampire show. For now. Until season 2 at least. See you later. Goodbye.